Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Hart, and today I'll be breaking down the 10-game NBA slates we have here on DraftKings for Wednesday night. 100K to first, so a lot of coin for us to win. Really do think we're going to be able to take this down tomorrow. So if you like the breakdown, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by Thanksgiving. So if you guys could subscribe, hit the like button. Really helps me out, and I truly appreciate it. I'm going to be going over my best spin-up options, mid-range options, and value plays / dart throws. For the slate breakdown, I'm just going to be going through my favorite options in each different salary range. So for the spin-ups, 10K and above, I think my favorite is going to be Giannis, just because he's going against this Brooklyn Nets team who doesn't play a ton of defense at all. It's 11-2, very pricey, but really like the opportunity there for Giannis. The floor is very safe. The ceiling's extremely high, so like Giannis a good amount. In this 9K range, I think my favorite play is going to be probably Towns against the Spurs. Like running the back here, the Spurs have a small front court. Keldon Johnson's their 4. Can't really match up with Towns. Had 5 fouls, so he's foul prone, but has huge upside. Almost 5+ assists in every game so far. Almost 8+ rebounds every game so far. Has double upside. Can get you 30+ points. So good amount of interest there in Towns at 9K. In the below 9K, 8K range, I think my favorite play is going to be, I'd say probably Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle, just because Julius Randle, foul prone player, kind of like Towns, but he has a huge upside, double upside. Has looked good in the past 2 out of 3 games. Even in the game he fouled out that went into overtime, he looked very solid. 8,200, just going against a terrible Hornets team. I guess slight blowout risk, but really like Randle there, going against that poor defense. Same thing with Anthony Edwards, like a buyback here. As we see, minutes are safe with him. Just a ton of shot attempts, 17, 23, 19, 15. Obviously, he can go, very cold from the field, but he'll make it up with rebounds and assists. So I really like this buyback opportunity here. 8,000 for Anthony Edwards going against this Spurs team. Really like that. One of my favorite core plays on the slate. Let's go back here. In the 7K range, obviously, we'll have to keep an eye out on that Terry Rozier news. If he's in, do have a good amount of interest there. In the 7K range, I'm eyeing Paolo and Kevin Porter Jr., 2 young players, have high upside. I'd say those 2 are my favorite, with a slight lean just to Kevin Porter Jr., just because he's a little bit more involved offensively when it comes to scoring, assists, and rebounds. But 2 young players who play a ton of minutes, they both have the upside and ceiling to get you there. So like them a good amount in that price range. In the 6K price range, Tyler HERRO catching my eye versus Portland. Obviously, you can't expect 15 rebounds a game, but he's a guy who's going to go out there and do a little bit of everything. Very good shooter, very good scorer. Going to be playing 35+ minutes, so like him a good amount at 6,900. Keldon Johnson looks solid, on a buyback opportunity here. Didn't do very well. 8 of 20 in that last game against Minnesota. Don't mind running it back there. A little bit of interest in RJ Barrett going against Charlotte, just because of how bad they are at defense. Scotty Barnes is questionable, so obviously we keep an eye out on that. If he gets rolled in, does hurt the usage of guys like Van Fleet and Siakam. If he's ruled out, you can definitely look to Siakam. He has like a 35% usage rate when Scotty Barnes is out, and he's had like a 34% usage rate so far this season. So massive usage rate there for Siakam. So he does a little bit of interest for me. Brunson, once again, going against Charlotte, so good amount of interest there. Vassal's been doing very well for the Spurs. You can definitely look to him. I think Markkanen is a safe play here. Obviously, you kind of burned everyone that last game against Houston, but playing them again, he shot it 19 times. The minutes have been safe for him. Kind of gets in foul trouble at times, but he's been, keeping his hands to himself, which is great to see. But the minutes secure, shot attempts secure, double upside. So really like Laurie here going against Houston. Expect him to have a lot better of a game. Who else do I like in this range? A little bit of interest in Portal. They're going to need him. Not playing too many minutes. A little bit kind of limited around 30. Don't think you have to force that. Good amount of interest in Clarkson, 6,300, just because that matchup, fast pace. Karis LeVert, He's burned us the past 2 games. I think the third time's a charm with him. He's playing the minutes. He's involved offensively, but he's just shot the ball poorly. 4 of 12, 4 of 14. But he can go out there, get you, 5+ boards, 5+ assists, a couple steals. And if he's hitting shots, he's going to easily smash, and nuke the slate. So 6,200 looks great for KESSLER. Going to load up on him. I think a lot of people are going to be off him just because of how they got burned the past few times from him. But I think that's a great buy low opportunity on KESSLER. In the 6K and below range, do have interest in Claxton. Not a high usage guy, but a high energy guy. Playing those minutes can get you a double-double. So good amount of interest there at 6K. Saddiq Bey, another one of those guys who he's coming off a terrible game, only shot it 5 times. Just wasn't involved in the offense at all, which is pretty interesting to see. Didn't watch that game, so not sure why. But if he's good to go, 5,900, it's too cheap. As you can see, he is upside into the 40s plus. If he's hitting his shots, even into, I'd say, the 50s, if he's, really hitting his threes. So I like a buyback opportunity here for Saddiq Bey, 5,900. Michael Porter Jr. is questionable. They might rule him out just because of, making sure he's healthy, not wanting him for the whole season, not getting hurt. So if he's out, that does change some things for the Denver side. Do have a good amount of interest in Maxey at 5,800, even though he's score independent. I do like Josh Hart a decent amount here at 5,800. I think he's averaging 10 rebounds a game, 11 points on the season, so about 30 fantasy points. So very, very solid, playing a ton of minutes. So I don't mind getting him here at 5,800 going against this Miami team. Kind of, the game that kind of does highlight a guy like Josh Hart, gritty game against Miami, a lot of defense, a lot of rebounds. So do have a good amount of interest there. Jalen Smith looks good against Chicago, a team that doesn't play defense. He's had back-to-back games of, double-doubles. Not very, happy with minutes. Rick Carlisle sucks. Going to be playing these bigs like 25 minutes each, but he's easily gotten there in the past 2 games. Who else do I like here? Jared Vanderbilt, a guy who double upside, kind of like a Nicholas Claxton, gonna go out there, gonna get you some points, some rebounds, some blocks, some steals, can do a little bit of everything. So 5,100. And this matchup against Houston looks pretty solid. Who else we got here? Bol did great off the bench, 32 fantasy points. Don't think you expect that. Jalen Noel has been fantastic for us so far this season. You can definitely run it back with him. Price is still a little bit too cheap for a guy who's, seen 20+ minutes. He's seen a ton of shots every game so far. Going against the Spurs, don't mind running it back here with Jalen Noel at 4,600 as a nice paydown option. What to keep an eye out on the Rocket news when it comes to their big man. If KJ Martin starts again, it would be a solid, piece, 4,500. Obviously not the best play, but not the worst. Walker Kessler's getting some minutes. Only got 8 that last game, but before then he was getting about 20 a game. Yeah, not a ton of interest in any of these cheap guys as of right now. But what to keep an eye out on the news, Primo, a guy I've mentioned before, going to see the minutes. It just comes down if he's going to hit his shots and get involved offensively. Really hasn't so far, but you could definitely take that shot there. Gabe Vincent, another guy, kind of like a Primo, playing those minutes, just not too involved offensively, but he's a little bit better defender, so you can definitely get you some steals to easily pay off that salary. That really doesn't. Not a ton. I like under 5K. What to wait for any injury news. Maybe that'll shift my core plays. But as of right now, really like KESSLER, Lauri Markkanen, Saddiq Bey, and Anthony Edwards. So if you guys like the video, like the breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe, turn that notification bell. Do truly appreciate all the support. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.